Paul's letter to the Galatians is crucially important to the development of Christianity because it speaks to the freedom that we have in Christ, the freedom that we have apart from having to observe the entire Mosaic law. Our verse for today is Galatians chapter 5, verse 1, where Paul writes, "For freedom Christ has set us free. Stand firm, therefore, and do not submit again to a yoke of slavery." The yoke of slavery that Paul is referring to throughout the letter of the Galatians is the burden of trying to obey the entire law of Moses as if doing so would justify us or make us holy or acceptable to God, which Paul believes and writes very vigorously is not possible. That is not how we obtain justification. Justification comes by faith in Christ alone. And that's the nature of Christian liberty. Faith alone justifies. But faith, if it's genuine, Paul goes on to write in chapter 5, is not just something that we say with our mouth or say with our lips and then nothing changes in our life. And in chapter 5 and verse 6, Paul says something that I think is incredibly important for us to remember and to live out. He says the only thing that counts is faith working through love. You know, sometimes I've heard people set up a false division, if you will, between the writings of Paul and the letter of James, as if Paul's saying, faith, it's by faith alone that we're saved, and by grace, by faith, that's it. And James, they interpret as saying, well, faith without works is dead, so you have to have works. So which one is it, faith or works? It's a false dichotomy. Both Paul and James emphasize that it's faith working through love. That's what matters. Faith without works is dead. There's not a conflict between Paul and James. For freedom, Christ has set us free. We don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I've got to obey the entire Mosaic law to be justified before God. Christ has done the justifying for us. But a genuine faith in Christ will live out the faith of Christ. And that faith lives itself out through love. That's something we need to remember and we need to practice towards every other person.